だから体術ばかりを鍛え、スピードを飛躍的に高めた内派一族か。巨大なケトラと月艇の一点集中、さらにはその月のスピードが相まって、あの技はこう呼ばれる。千鳥。
In case you guys missed my previous video reference, Garam is actually similar to Sasuke, and Nari is similar to Naruto in many aspects from the manga named Naruto. He is the first husband unit that is able to equip two different equipments and have special effects based on the equipment that he's equipped in. He's also the second Fox unit to be introduced to the game, and he is the friend of one of my favorite unit, which is Nari. At the same time, there's also a summon mission which rewards you with 60 hero crystals if you do 60 hero summons. So, is it a good time to summon for Garam? Let us find out today on how worthy is Garam potentially. We will evaluate the hero based on the below format. We will look at the story, the stats, the skills of the hero, and yada yada yada. You guys know the drill. So let us proceed on. Garam is a nine-tailed fox sage, and he's a long friend of Nari. He used more powerful magic since he has one extra tail than her. While Nari was in a deep long sleep, Garam traveled the world together with Dela to help humans with his sage powers. However, this eventually led to Dela's death, and this got Garam engulfed in sorrow and rage and ran on the rampage. He was eventually stopped by Nari, and he went back into the deep mountains to continue to train and learn to control his power through archery. Upon returning home from the mountains, he realized that the world is now packed with many people that is able to use magic, and many things became incomprehensible to him. In terms of stats, Garam is ranked 2nd in terms of attack, 45th in terms of defense, which is the weakest, 12th in terms of crit hit chance, and 41st in terms of HP. He's also the 5th unit in terms of heal at level 74. Based off his stats, we can tell that he's the epitome of glass cannon, as he has paper thin defenses but extremely high attack stats. Combined with his special ability, he's able to increase his attack by another 20% if he has a bow equipped, and this means that his attack stat will reach a whopping 1.2k if you were to equip him with a bow at maximum level. However, if you do want to be creative, you can actually equip him with a basket, and this will effectively double his heal numbers. I do not recommend equipping him as a basket because Garam has a relatively low defensive stats, and he might not last long enough in a long drawn out battle in order for his heal amount to be substantial enough. It is also important to note that he has the highest chain skill damage because he is one of the highest DPS unit in the game, combined with the fact that his chain skill deals a 475% DPS in a small area, making him an insane damage dealer just off his chain skill. His party buff is water attack plus 50%, which is a really great boost to mono water teams, as the other water attack buffer, which is White Beast, is relatively unusable in the current game modes. His weapon, Thousand Thunder, offers heal, crit hit chance, skill damage, weapon skill regen speed, and HP buffs. At the same time, it increases the reach of the splinter coming from his arrow splits. It also allows him to deal 20% extra DPS when the attacks are hitting a single target. The weapon skill, Thunderbird, deals 240% DPS with a relatively low regen time of 7 seconds, and this could be further brought down with his innate skill regen speed from the bow and other accessories. When he fires a bow, the shot will behave like a shotgun, as it will splinter off when it hits the primary target. The damage to the secondary targets behind the primary target will be reduced. However, both the primary damage and the secondary damage coming off from the shotgun effect can deal critical damage. There is no limit to the number of targets that can be hit by the shotgun effect, and each secondary target hit does not reduce the overall secondary damage. He is able to fire off 4 arrows, with the last arrow having a healing effect, and you have to go on a recharge timer for a short period of time. The weapon skill, Thunderbird, will result in him firing off a long shot that is able to cover at least half the Colosseum map, and it will deal an equal amount of damage to all the targets that is within the Thunderbird's path. It has a relatively short cooldown reduction, and if you have sufficient weapon skill regen, the cooldown can be lowered to as low as 5 seconds. It takes roughly 2 weapon skills to actually crowd control most of the targets, and both the normal attacks and the weapon skill are not able to pass through terrains, but are able to penetrate walls and multiple enemies. Now moving on to the KR meta-analysis, Garam can be seen on multiple teams running together with the Bianca core. This is most likely because Garam can benefit from the quick hit chance greatly coming from the party buff of Bianca. At the same time, Bianca is also able to benefit from Garam's plus water attack percentage. Because Garam has the lowest defense in-game, it is a definite must to pair him in Colosseum together with Ogma, because he can benefit greatly from Ogma's special ability, which provides bonus defense based on the difference between Ogma and the respective unit that he is trying to buff. Garam is able to deal insane amount of damage in an AI controlled setting simply because he has a way higher attack stat than Bari after the special ability buff. At the same time, his weapon skill also has a relatively low cooldown time, and if he's able to hit multiple targets on its path once released, is able to do tremendous damage to the whole of the enemy's team. His chain skill is also one of the highest damage dealing one in the game, and if the enemies decides to clump up in the Colosseum setting, it could be a tremendous blow to them if he is able to unleash his chain skill. Garam is a great standalone unit as he is the strongest glass cannon in the game right now, even better than Arabelle. However, if you're talking about the Colosseum setting, there are certain limitations in terms of team building for him. For example, since his defense is relatively low, Ogma is definitely needed in order to beef up his survivability. While you will also need to have another water unit in your team other than Ogma in order to benefit from his water attack buff to have a more holistic effect. If not, the water attack party buff will only benefit Garam if you choose to build him in a multi-element team. At the same time, it is also important to note that my Garam is not fully maxed out yet in terms of levels and equipment, so there's definitely more room for improvement if you were to choose to invest him on your team. Now moving on to Arena, Garam is even stronger in Arena because his bow effect kicks in when he's firing at a single target. This allows him to deal even more damage if he's fighting in a 1v1 setting. Based on my personal experience using Garam in the Arena, I feel that Garam needs to be at a higher level or specifically maximum level to play a substantial effect in the Arena. This is because even though Garam has a monstrous attack stat, he's also relatively paper. So in terms of a 1v1 setting, he needs to be able to finish off the opponent faster than the opponent is able to do too much damage to him. The good news is I was able to capture some footages of my Garam doing an insane amount of damage to units such as Bari, Marina, Ogma at the maximum level. And here are some footages of my Arena battles with Garam. With a premier attack stat of 1.2k when he has his bow equipped at the maximum level, Garam is an insane unit in PvE contents simply because of the damage that he is able to output in a large AoE. My personal experience of using Garam when paired with Bianca is that his split shot is able to crit very often, and since his split shot is able to benefit from the crit chance, this further boosts his damage output on my team. Garam is excellent if you are looking to auto-farm mirror rifts at the higher level. Although Garam's healing ability is not as fantastic as Mia, the healing that he can do in a long drawn out battle is still pretty substantial if you do not have other healers in your team. And in the worst case scenario, you can actually build him as a support unit holding a basket in order to heal our team if you do not have that many good healing heroes in your arsenal. Below are some reasons for you to pull for Garam. In conclusion, Garam is a SS tier unit for PvE content, and he's definitely somewhere between the S to SS tier unit for me in terms of PvP, simply because of him being a insane damage dealer. He is currently the highest damage dealer in the game right now based on his kit, even though he has relatively paper thin defenses. This means that he is currently the strongest glass cannon in the game, and this is a tech that often lasts very long in most RPG games. Another key part of his kit is his ability to do a shotgun effect to the backline of the enemy's team. This is especially crucial in certain PvE contents where you need to snipe off key backline units in order to win the battle. It is also especially important to snipe off key units in the Colosseum setting such as Mia in the backlines or even Nari in the backlines. So how worthy is Garam potentially? In my most honest opinion, I think that Garam is a super OP unit that is limited by his party buff as well as his weak defensive stats. This is a good thing because if Garam has a universal party buff, I can see Garam being able to be slotted into many teams to maximize his overall potential. However, do not be fooled by his party buff because Garam is an excellent standalone unit. He is definitely beneficial if you are able to slot in another water unit to benefit from his party buff, but it's not a necessity simply because of the amount of damage that Garam can deal on his own. So will you invest in Garam when he's released on the global server? Let me know down in the comment section, and thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell in order to see more content from Zeebo Gaming. That's all from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.